This video will cover the Geometry Regents exam from January 2015, questions 32 through 34. Number 32 says, write an equation of a line that is parallel to the line whose equation is 3y equals x plus 6 and that passes through the point negative 3, 4. So what you first need to understand is that parallel means same slope. And if we want to pass through this, or same slope to that equation, then we need to first get it in y equals. So I'm going to write it off to the side, 3y equals x plus 6. In order to get y by itself, I need to get rid of this 3. So in order to get rid of the 3, because it's currently being multiplied, I'm going to undo it by division. And I'm going to divide each and every piece by 3. That means the 3's in front of the y cancel, so now we have y equals, in front of this x there's technically a 1, so we have 1/3 x plus 2. Now my slope in this equation is the 1/3, and because we need the same slope, I'm going to keep it as 1/3. Now the second step is to write the equation that passes through the point negative 3, 4, using this slope, 1/3. So we have this equation called the point slope formula. And this is because you need a point and a slope to plug it in. That equation looks like this, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where m is slope and x1, y1 is a given point to pass through. So here we're just going to simply plug it in. We have y minus 4 equals 1/3 times x minus negative 3. But we don't love double negatives, so we do need to rewrite the equation as y minus 4 equals 1/3 times x plus 3. Now this is a great stopping point, but if you're used to getting equations into y equals, then you can just take it a step further. So here, in order to take it a step further, we would distribute. So we have y minus 4 equals 1/3 x plus 1/3 times 3 would give me just 1. Add 4 to both sides because again we're trying to get it into y equals. So we have y equals 1/3 x plus 5. And this would be another acceptable response. Number 33 says, in the diagram below, secants PQR and PST are drawn to a circle from point P. Just so you know, secants mean that it crosses through the circle 2 times. So here the secant PR crosses through the circle once at R and once at Q. PT crosses through at S and T. Then the next part of the question actually has us labeling some things. It says that PR is 24. So this big segment here is 24. PQ, this little segment, is 6. And PS is 8. Determine and state the length of PT. So I'm going to choose to call this X because we don't know what it is. So we have a couple of different formulas when we're dealing with circles and secants, tangents, and chords. But the one that deals with this type of picture is called whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. Another word for exterior just means outside. So if you're used to using whole times outside, that's another perfectly acceptable method. But what this is saying is we need to take the whole segment, like 24, and multiply it by the exterior part of the segment, the 6. We call this the wee formula because it's whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. And when you're setting this up, you want to make sure you're sticking with the same segment that you're, breaking down. So this whole of 24 goes with this exterior of 6. So we have 24 times 6 equals whole x times exterior 8. And then all you have to do here is just simply solve. So we have 24 times 6, so 144 equals 8x. Divide by 8 and you get x equals 18. So because we called PT x, then our final answer is just that PT equals 18. Number 34 says the slope of QR is x minus 1 over 4 and the slope of ST is 8 over 3. If QR is perpendicular to ST, determine and state the value of x. what we first need to understand here is that perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes, meaning flipped and negated. So if the slope of one line is x minus 1 over 4 and the slope of the other line is 8 over 3, in order to determine what x is, we're going to have to flip one of those slopes. And the easiest one to flip and negate would be the 8/3 because it's just simple numbers. If you try to flip and negate the x minus 1 over 4, it's possible you can do it, it just makes it a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to flip and negate this, negative 3 over 8, and I'm going to set it equal to x minus 1 over 4. Because after all, these slopes are opposite reciprocals. So then we just simply need to cross multiply. So we have negative 12 equals 8 times that quantity x minus 1. Make sure that you put that x minus 1 in parentheses, otherwise you might forget to distribute. Negative 12 equals 8x minus 8. You're solving for x here. So we're going to add 8 to both sides. Negative 4 equals 8x. Divide by 8. And you get x equals negative 4 over 8. Or in other words, x equals negative 1/2. And that's your final answer.